The Goodreads Choice Awards, an annual contest where, as per last year, over 6.2 million people voted on the 300 books nominated in 15 categories. Now, I personally haven't voted in it in a couple of years because my favorite books almost never win, but I've always wondered, are these books actually good, or are they just the most popular? So to test this theory out, I picked up 3 books that were winners from last year and began what is probably the most subjective experiment. Is there merit to the Goodreads Choice Awards? Is it just a popularity contest? And will my taste align with the general public? We shall see. Okay, so the first book up in this video will be The Wedding People by Alison Espach. And I truthfully know almost nothing about this book. I just know that I saw it a lot last year and I was intrigued by it, and I almost bought it in a bookstore once. And then I did a poll and nobody looked at the poll, but one of the people that did actually vote was like, oh, I thought you should have bought this one. And I was like, oh, really? Like, I guess it is that good, because I feel like I've heard so many people saying that this is good. From what I've seen in like the dust jacket, it's about a woman whose name is Phoebe, and she's just on a vacation without her husband in a green dress and gold heels, and she's mistaken for somebody in the wedding party. So that's that. I am looking forward to reading this right now, in particular because it is very rainy and wet and cold. So we'll see what I think about The Wedding People. I've been told it's like a Hallmark movie, and I like Hallmark movies if they're good, because there are Hallmark movies that are like, ew, and then there are Hallmark movies that are like, aw. So let's see which one this bad boy is. Okay, I'm about 40 pages in, and I have a slightly better idea what this is. So we start off with our main character going to this, what is it called? Is it a hotel? It's an inn. And it's a Cornwall Inn. The Cornwall Inn. And she has, you can tell the state that Phoebe's in, and it's not a good one. She's just kind of like, to hell with everything, basically. And so we have, I don't know if this is going to continue, but we had a chapter where it's our present with her, and then we had a chapter saying what happened with her and her husband, why her husband isn't with her on this trip. And in the little dust jacket flap, we know that she has a plan, and that plan is not going to make the bride happy. So the bride and Phoebe have met so far, and I'm interested to see how the bride and Phoebe are going to interact, because honestly, if I went to a hotel and got mistaken for part of the bridal party because I'm wearing the same thing as everybody else, would I continue? I feel like I might continue on and like just ride the wave. But also Phoebe has her whole plan, which is like, I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's intense. Her plan is intense. And like I said, I don't want to spoil anything for this video. So what I can comment on is the fact that this book, the way it's written, is giving me The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. And like just the way it's being written and the humor and how, like, there's a certain type of like TMI writing style that I feel like Alison and Holly share, I guess. I don't know if that's like a of this time period thing, but it's just a vibe, a feeling that I'm getting. And which bodes well and not so well for this book, because at first I loved The Husbands, and then it because of the format of that book, it got repetitive, so I did not love it at some point, but I think I will continue to like this. I'm already over 40 pages in and it's going by very quickly. So, I mean, it's just a general fiction novel, so it'll go pretty quick. No offense to this authoress, but I'm getting annoyed of this book and the people in it. I'm waiting for a character to be not, I mean, it's not like I can't have unlikable characters because those are sometimes really fun. This one is unlikable in a way that, like, she's just mad that she's boring, and that's not interesting to me. Everybody's kind of complaining about either being too boring or just, I guess just being too boring. It's like, then be zany, be kooky, I don't know, go do something. And yes, this character, Phoebe, is doing something, but it's in a weird way. I don't know. I don't like anybody in this book. And they're all talking like Gilmore Girls characters. Other than that, yeah, I'm 100 pages in and I'm waiting for some character to excite me. Also, this is just a me thing, but I like to read books that exist in a world where the pandemic never happened. And this one is, the pandemic's not in this one. It's talking about like how Phoebe's job changed after, and how people are congregating together to celebrate this wedding that honestly is way too expensive and and I'm not a wedding person. That's the thing. I'm not a wedding person, so this is all like, ew, you're spending how much on a wedding on a day? Oh no, she's spending this much on a week, a wedding week, which, yeah, so they're talking about how people are getting back into the swing of things and being social. And Phoebe talks about how at her job, because she is she's not a philosophy, that's her husband. She is a literature professor. She teaches on, like, she's basically a researcher for a living. She talks about how when the panini happened, she had to teach to a bunch of, black squares. And it just reminds me of how I had to teach to ballet students in their homes. And it was just like, not a good time. So it reminds me of a not so bueno time. So I'm not really enjoying it at all, but we'll see if I can get into it, I take offense. I'm only a little bit smug that I take my coffee black. Hello, I am currently making cake, procrastinating, reading The Wedding People because I hate it. Thank you, that is all. I'm making cake. I just read a scene where two veritable strangers are in a bathroom together. One of them is in the tub naked and the other washes her hair for her. I just want all of these characters to end up being a figment of Phoebe's imagination. That's the only thing that I think could make this book salvageable to me, personally. I'm really gonna try to finish this today because I'm tired of reading it. All right, I gotta frost my cake. This is not a wedding cake, although it'd be really funny if it was. This is a cake for my brother's birthday. What up? He was born on Valentine's Day, so, it takes my mind off of not having one ever. I just do my volunteer work. I do my charity. Yeah, I don't like this book at all. I think that, here's the thing. I don't think that the Goodreads Awards show is a hoax, but now I think it is. Also, this angle is terrible. Let me get a better angle for y'all. Yeah, it's feeling like a hoax. It's feeling like somebody told me to believe it was good, therefore I must. And it's making me a little angry. The thing that makes it like a Hallmark movie has already happened. So that's over and done with. And I did guess that was going to happen. Granted, I knew basically next to nothing about this book before I picked it up. So I shouldn't have been able to guess it. Not that it's like a mystery or anything. And then, like I said before, I do want something to happen so that it just makes it less of a flop, this story. I want it to be, like I said, that Phoebe just ends up, like, her big secret doesn't happen, but she, like, I guess, what do I want to happen? I want her to, like, be unconscious the entire time and wake up and have everything be a fake Newton, you know, a figment of imagination, nothing actually happened, and that's it. Yeah, and also this book is just making me realize how much I hate weddings, or I guess just the process of them. I don't know. Because, like, do I want to get married? Hell yeah. Do I want to have a wedding? Not anymore. Seems stupid and expensive. But yeah. Also, I think I did this cake wrong, which is very unfortunate. But my brother will like it. I usually do an okay job, but I don't think I did this time. Oh, that's hella crooked. Oh my gosh. Oh, goodness me. Me, oh my. Is that better? You can't tell me. Whatever. But you know what? I made a homemade cake again. I make a homemade cake basically for every single one of my family members because I don't buy gifts. I don't do that. I don't really like giving gifts, but now I must know, y'all, have you read The Wedding People? Did you enjoy it? And be real, be for real. Don't BS me. I put way too much frosting on. Don't BS me. Let me know. Did you enjoy the characters, even if they're unlikable? Because every single character is unlikable. Did you like the story and where it's going? Because I think it's also the format that I don't love. I don't know what's happening, and all I know is that I don't want the bride and the groom together. That's all I know. That's all I know. Did you feel that way? Did you feel like Lila was insufferable? Because it just seems like she's like, me. It's my wedding week. Yeah, she's feeling so unrelatable to me that it's making me want to stop reading it. So I'm 200 pages in, and I wish I had the audiobook so I could just speed through it and not have to read it, because I don't feel like reading it. And it's making me regret doing this video, because I usually don't do videos like this, like Goodreads challenges. And now I think the Goodreads Awards show is a hoax. It's fake. I'm trying not to get crumbs in this cake. I can't wait. Side note, I can't wait to make my own wedding cake. I just need a man. Okay, I'm gonna finish frosting this. I'll show you the finished product. It honestly looks really bad, but I didn't do a crumb coat or anything extra, so it just looks bad. I hate when it looks terrible. Okay. I don't know what happened with the frosting. It just, you know, so that's my cake. We're gonna call it rustic and call it a day, right? Right. It's rustic. It was meant to look like that. This was actually awful. And if you're wondering the answer to the question, is it like a good Hallmark movie or a bad Hallmark movie? It is like a bad Hallmark movie. I disliked so many things. I disliked the way it was written. The style was not my style. Like, I know that this author's writing for me is not a hit, will not be picking up any more books from this author. I get what it was trying to do, what it was trying to say, but I feel like the way it did it, it just made me think, wow, look at all of these self-centered people. And then you'd have the self-awareness of the people. So then I'd be like, so why are we in this situation? What is the point? And it made me not ever want to have a wedding. So it did that. Was that its purpose? I don't know. Oh, just another like nitpicky thing. There were so many pointless, quirky names for things. Like there was a nickname of Juice for a character. So every time I had to read about this character, Juice, who wanted to be called Juice. No, thank you. One of the bridesmaids refers to their kid as the little worm. No. Get some help. That's all I have to say about that. So in keeping with the theme of this book, we're gonna rate it out of 5 little worms. This book gets 2 little worms out of 5. I don't know why people like this. I'm sorry. If that offends you, be offended. Yeah, I think if this had just been about Phoebe, it would have been one thing. But the fact that you involve all these other people that are awful, except for, you know what? I actually did kind of like Patricia, not the mother-in-law, the mother of the bride. Loved her. She was a realist. She was just like, she was the one bright spot for me. So yeah, did not enjoy. And now I think Goodreads is a scam. So what's next? I guess that's the first book. Let's go on to the next book, which is The God of the Woods by Liz something or other. Let's go on to that. Okay, so moving on to the next book in this video, which gives me higher hopes than the last one because it is the mystery thriller winner for 2024, The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. And I don't know what books this one beat out. Let me actually look because I want to know what to compare it to. Okay, the nominees in this category were, very interesting, were, of course, The God of the Woods, First Lie Wins. I did read that one. I hated it. The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, The Teacher by Frida McFadden, All the Colors of the Dark by Chris Whitaker, Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, which I think I might have voted for this one maybe if I had actually voted, because I don't vote in Goodreads Choice Awards anymore. Richard Osman's We Solve Murders. I read one Richard Osman last year, hated it. Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley, trash.com. How to Solve Your Own Murder by Kristen Perrin, which I read that one when I got an arc of it and I really enjoyed it. So I might have voted for that one too. Like it would have been between Listen for the Lie or How to Solve Your Own Murder because it was really, really fun. Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. Awful. No, I didn't put on my worst books of last year, but I should have. It was just underwhelming. The Mystery Guest by Nita Prose. Sally Hepworth's The Darling Girls, The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. Also read that one. It was okay. The Last One at the Wedding by Jason Recollect. The Night We Lost Him by Laura Dave. The Return of Ellie Black by Amiro Jean. Society of Lies by Lauren Ling Brown. House of Glass by Sarah Pekkanen, and Not What She Seems by Yasmin Engo. So those were the nominees. I have heard nothing but rave reviews for this book, to the point where I had my sister pick this one up for me because she went to the bookstore and I was like, ooh, if I give you money, will you buy this for me? And she's like, yeah, sick, as long as it's not my money. And while she was checking it out, she, the cashier was like, this is amazing. So she was like, the cashier said it was amazing, so hopefully it's amazing. And we shall see if it's amazing. Full disclosure, I have started reading this already, and I'm almost 100 pages in, and it's okay. It's good. Historically, with mystery thrillers, I tend to give them middle ratings, like above average, 3 stars per, shall we say. Because it's very hard to not do an okay job with a mystery thriller, right? Like, as long as there's a thrill, there's a mystery, there's some twists, then I'll probably give it a good rating. I think fiction in general has more leeway to go, askew. So we shall see. This book, as per the Dust Jacket Flap, is about this summer camp where this girl named Barbara goes missing in the 70s, I believe. Is it the 70s? Yeah, 75. And she's discovered not in her bunk, and she was 13, and she's the daughter of the owner of the camp, and people are like, oh my gosh, we need to get her back because her parents are rich. And this wasn't the only time someone went missing, because her older brother went missing 14 years ago. So this is all about the Van Laar family and what happened and where their first child went. And honestly, I think this has a good chance of like at least being interesting for me because it has to do with summer camp. I love summer camp stories. Like Riley Sager's The Last Time I Lied was a good time. So I think that this will be a good time as well. And I just like it's reminding me of how I wanted to go to a summer camp when I was a teenager and I never got to. And the closest thing I got to do was like go to ballet summer intensives. And there was always a scandal where there was like two people who get in a relationship and then one boy would be caught in a girl's room or vice versa. And then people would be like, oh my gosh, did you hear about such and such? And it would never be me. And I was like, dang, I'm not that interesting. So yeah, I love a summer camp story, as you can tell. So we shall see. Pay no attention to this. We're giving comb over realness, but the God of the Woods is right now not doing very much of anything. I'm not mad at it though. I'm going along for the ride. How far am I into this? I'm like 120 pages in, and I can't actually tell you what is happening. I don't know. So basically what's happened is that we've had several different timelines, I guess you could say, because there's one from the 1960s, or a couple actually. There's some from the 1970s, and we're just following several different people. At one point, we're following a camper, Tracy. We're following Barbara's mother, Alice. We're following one of the camp counselors, Louise. And there's just a lot going on at the moment. So it's not boring me. I'm just like, I need some kind of like a thread for this. But perspectives that I've enjoyed so far have been Barbara's, of course, because actually, do we have Barbara's perspective? I don't think we do. I think we just see Barbara as this like it girl because she's only 13 and people are like, oh my gosh, Barbara Van Laar. And so I'm having a hard time fully going, yeah, she's cool because she's 13. Like, how cool can she really be? But Tracy's perspective is very, like, it puts you in the mindset of being that age and being insecure. And a perspective I really enjoyed has been Alice's, because there was a weird parallel between this book and the one I just read, The Wedding People, because there are some, like, dynamics in relationships that are very similar. Like Alice, she's 17 when she meets her husband, her future husband, Peter, and he's like, I think he's nearing his 30s, so he's very much so older. And that's just like a little parallel between this one and the relationship between the bride and the groom and the wedding people. It's a, not May, December, because that implies a lot of distance, but I think it's like, you get what I'm saying. And yeah, and then we have some perspectives from like the people that are around these Van Laars when Bear goes missing. So that's what I'm learning about right now. We have just gotten word that Bear has gone missing, and we're trying to find out where he went. So I'm interested in seeing how these two disappearances connect, because right now I got nothing. But I'm also not that far into the book. So also it's snowing, so I think I'm just gonna read this for the rest of the day. Okay. I think winter's here. In my hand, my heart is... At this point in time, this video is feeling haunted, because I'm hating everything that I pick up, and I don't understand what Kool-Aid people are drinking or did drink last year that I didn't get my hands on, because I don't understand why people like this book. This book has a lot of problems. The main one being that it's way too long and that it has its head up its own keister because it's supposed to be like a literary thriller, which I could not tell you what that meant. I still can't tell you what it means. It's like, the other thing is that this book really feels like Pretty Little Liars, but like adult. And that is in reference to the girl that goes missing. That's not particularly in reference to anything else, besides the fact that she just gives me it girl Alison De Laurentiis energy. There were way too many perspectives that, in my opinion, had nothing to do with the story. And I guess I say that, and I really mean there was one perspective. I'll say Tracy. What did Tracy offer this book? I think Tracy was there to offer the literary portion of the novel, which, again, like I said, didn't feel particularly literary or astute or profound. I'm just gonna, this is my laundry list, and then I'll add one petty thing at the very end. So, yes, length, it was almost 500 pages, didn't need to be. Did it read very quick? Yes, because the font is not that small, and the chapters were very short, so it was easy to get through, but I didn't want to get through it. Another thing I really didn't like, one of the mysteries. So one of the original mystery, the disappearance of Bear Van Laar. That one, fine, whatever. Did I guess what had happened to the kid? Not really. So I guess that's one thing it had going for it. But the other mystery, the way it ends, I'm like, please don't come at me with that nonsense. But it did. And if you've read this book, at the very end, yeah, it just felt like I didn't care about any of the characters. And that's kind of the theme for this video. I don't care about these characters, and I would love to. And I think this reviewer on Goodreads said it the best. Like, look at this. That comment is amazing. It really sums up how I felt about the whole thing. And then the last thing that I really didn't like, which is the petty thing. The petty thing is that Barbara Van Laar, I couldn't stand the girl. Like, I get that she had the parents she had, and she grew up the way she did, and things happened in their past that affected her. But like, there were some weird things that just got said. It was like, one of the things was that she wasn't allowed to eat as much as she wanted. She like wanted to eat a whole loaf of bread. I was like, okay, all right, interesting. And then there was a section where like, I don't think this is a spoiler, but there was like a section where she was doing like art on her wall in her bedroom. And I don't know why, but that's a very particular thing for certain like people who were raised a certain way to feel. I was not allowed to do anything with my room growing up. It was not my room. I didn't pay rent. Why would I be able to paint my walls? Excuse me? The privilege. The gall. So the fact that your parents painted over your wall and you throw a whole fit, entitlement. But yeah, I didn't like it, and that's why I filmed the least amount for this book, because I was just indignant about the fact that this has such a high rating on Goodreads. Is it just because Obama read it? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how this got. And the other thing is, I'm mad also because it beat out a book that I think should have won over this one. This one just wasn't good, so I'm like, I don't understand. Oh, I forgot to give it like a funny rating, so we're gonna give it, what's the theme of this book? The theme of the book was like woods, trees. Let's give it, out of 5 trees, we're gonna give it 2. 2 out of 5 trees. Terrible. And this video has terrible vibes. Okay, on to the next book. Okay, so I was legitimately about to abandon this video, but I ain't no quitter. My mama didn't raise no quitter. So we're going to continue on with the last book, the final book in this little experiment to see if the Goodreads Choice Awards is total hokum. And it is The Ministry of Time by Kaliane Bradley. Now, I did start this in November of last year. So I thought about restarting it because I got like 130-ish pages in. And then I thought, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to read this again. Because it's not terrible, but it's not really, like, it's not what I want to read. I don't know. The writing is fine, and that's what I will say for that. It's about these people who take these other people from somewhere in time. Oh, that's a good movie. The penny scene, come on. They take these people from certain points in history and they scoop them and put them into the current timeline, and they try to rehabilitate them and get them acclimated to the new world and all the many things that have changed, you know, from when they were to where they are now. And the main person we're looking at is, do we know her name? I don't think we know her name. That's really, really annoying. Okay, so basically, it's a man. His name is Commander Graham Gore. It makes you think of Al Gore every time. And he is from, where is he from? Oh my gosh, 1847. I'll never remember that. He's from 1847. He was doing an expedition, and they yoinked him from that. And he is paired up with this unmarried woman who is his bridge. And the bridge basically just is their buddy for about a year. And they've lived together. It's all very scandalous. And bless me. Apparently this is supposed to be like a spy sci-fi novel with a romance. And I haven't gotten to any of that besides the fact that we've successfully taken people from the past and brought them to the future. And I think what's not working for this book with me is that the writing is a little, like, it's not bad, but it does weird things. Like, one of the characters is kind of sick, and Bradley will write in the coughing sounds. And I just don't appreciate it. I don't know. It's not my thing. It's not my cup of tea. So there's like little idiosyncrasies that I don't love. But other than that, nothing's gone wrong per se. So I'm on page 153 at the moment. But I also will say that if the author writes about the acne on, what's her name, 1665. If we talk about her acne on her cleavage one more time, I might have to jump ship. I might do it. So yeah, I'm waiting for something to happen because the chapters are really long. And then in between we get chapters, our little interludes with Commander Gore's like hunting party back wherever that was. I've forgotten a lot of details. What I do know is that I'm following the plot, and that's all that needs to be said. Okay, we'll continue on. Okay, it's February 28th, and I have not finished The Ministry of Time, and I'm close. I'm on page 225. And you know, it's picked up a little bit, but I do have to tell you that if you're thinking about reading this book, know that it doesn't get going until page about 180. So do with that what you will. What did this beat? This beat The Family Experiment. Oh, hell no. Hell no. The Family Experiment was way better than this tripe. I have not heard of any of these other books, so I don't really care. I've seen the cover of Antibot, but it seems problematic to me. I don't know why. I don't know about it at all. Like, I don't know anything about Antibot, but I think it looks weird. But yeah, I think that The Family Experiment should have beat this at least, because this is not good. Let me temper this. It's not bad. I'm not its biggest hater, but I'm not its fan. Yeah, we're talking about a lot of things other than the fact that, like, there's a literal time travel element to this, and we're not really tapping into it yet. Now, something has happened, like I said, in between page 180 and 225, so that's cool. But I have like 34% left in this novel, and I don't know what it could do to make me like it, but we'll see. We will really see. Yeah, and I really just want to finish it today because I had a TBR for February and I've read one book off of it. So I need to get going if I'm going to read 2 books from the TBR. So that's what's happening. I'm going to continue this and hopefully finish it today because I'm tired of reading it. This has been a very negative video up until this point, and it will end a negative video and a negative experience for me because I really didn't like The Ministry of Time. I could not stand it. That's a little excessive. It's a little hyperbolic. It was fine. And that's the thing. It was just fine. I think the reason why I hated I think the reason why I hated this experience is because I thought they were going to be wow worthy and they just weren't. And so I think that colored my opinion too severely. I will say that all 3 of these books have been meh. And that's why I was pissed off. This book in particular did me dirty because it does almost nothing. It wasn't compelling to me in any way. The main character, the first name of which I don't think we ever get, so it's trying to be really, I guess, suspenseful and like, oh, are you making your guesses as to what's going to happen next? Like, what is the stuff behind all of this? And when you get what's actually happened behind all of this, you're like, okay, and then it's just over. And like I said, it takes 180 pages for it to get going, and it's no secret this is a love story, and it just seemed like it happened out of nowhere. I was like, okay, like it just ramped up for no reason, and then oh my gosh, and then when we got like the little like reveal and the twist, I was like, it's interesting, but then it doesn't go anywhere because there's like 50 pages left and you are actually like, okay, but like what else? And nothing else happens. It's so frustrating. And like I said before, I don't like the way it was written. I mean, it's nothing too terrible, but I didn't like how quirky the writing style, the prose was. Like the author, like I said, would write in coughs and yuck and stuff like that. And I'm not a fan of that. And then there's the whole, what is this book really about? Is it a sci-fi or is it a book about trauma and racism? Because, and this is probably, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think that there's a certain sect of people who want things to be separate, and there's a certain sect of people who don't care if they are. They like the real world mixing of like fantastical elements or sci-fi elements and real world issues. I'm one of those people who does not like it. I don't like it, and I'm not ashamed to say it. So yeah, it didn't do it for me. And I'm just so curious as to why certain people that are like popular on booktube liked it. I'm thinking about one person in particular. I'm like, why did you like it? But then again, didn't watch the video of them saying why they liked it. So maybe I should. Maybe that's on me. So, yeah. Oh, I will say one thing I did like. I liked Commander Graham. Full stop. That's it. I just liked him. I liked his sensibilities. It's very much so in the way that I like Edward from Twilight. I like old-fashioned men. That's it. Okay, those are the books that I read for this experiment. Oh, well, you want my rating? My rating for this, keeping in theme with like using specific things from the book to rate this book. Although I didn't really do that with The God of the Woods. I just kind of phoned it in for that one. But for this one, we will say that I give this 2 out of 5 chickens. If you read the book, you know why chickens is a thing. So 2 out of 5 chickens, not great. mostly because I had expectations that shouldn't have been there. Okay, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I might not post this because it was very negative, and I don't like being that negative in a video. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.